Welcome to another episode of Shea's Pretty Skinny. Of course, I'm Shea, and we're doing everything except keeping it cute about establishing boundaries when there's an imbalance in power dynamics today. Establishing healthy boundaries in a relationship with an unbalanced power dynamic can be exceptionally challenging. The inherent inequality in such a dynamic can make one party feel apprehensive about asserting their needs or preferences, fearing potential consequences or backlash. The power imbalanced individual might exploit their advantage to manipulate or control the situation, making it difficult for the other person to voice their concerns or set limits. And let's have you be this person today. In such circumstances, the person who has less power, which would be yourself, struggles to maintain autonomy and your self-esteem. You may second guess your instincts, downplay your emotions, or tolerate behavior that you may find uncomfortable or inappropriate. Over time, though, this can lead to emotional distress for you, a sense of powerlessness, and even contribute to mental health issues. The person who has more power, it would be great if they would recognize that imbalance and actively work towards creating an environment of respect and open communication. And that's crucial, especially when boundaries are set. This would require empathetic listening on the other person's perspective and ensuring that boundaries are acknowledged and honored. The person who has less power, yourself, would need to find ways to assert themselves without feeling threatened. You would need to seek support from friends and family, and even professional support can be necessary and beneficial at this time. Now, it seems cut and dry, but what happens when the power dynamics do not support healthy boundaries? Most times, setting boundaries in a situation will result in less interaction with the perpetrator or just a clean cutting off from them. But if you're living with family, dealing with a superior at work or school, or involved in a circumstance where time is needed to create some physical distance, establishing healthy boundaries might feel like a fail at this time for you. As a result, I want to talk about a few options to cope with the imbalance of power dynamics while you're making that space to get away. One, awareness is going to be important. Recognizing the power dynamics and acknowledging your feelings about them is important. Logic does not create emotion. It's actually the opposite. Emotion gives steam to what we perceive logically about an event or about ourselves. If I'm feeling guilty about setting limits with someone, I may automatically look for reasons why I'm wrong for setting that limit, when in fact, I'm feeling more guilty about not being able to continue in the few and far between pleasant moments that I have with this individual. So awareness of the situation and how we feel about it is the first step towards addressing it, okay? 2, you still want to set clear boundaries. How you do it may be different though. Like asserting your boundaries respectfully and clearly outlining what you're comfortable with and what you're not, that will ensure that your needs are met. It may be easier said than done though, so being assertive could actually backfire and cause a loss of essential needs. Like it could mess with your housing or create more isolation where you have to stay in one room to avoid conflicts. So in similar type of scenarios, rethinking how you address that boundary and how it's communicated is definitely going to be essential. It could be more beneficial to admit to whatever weakness is being identified and use it as a reason to establish your boundary. For example, if someone's accusing you of not helping around the house, you admit to, you're right, I don't help so much around the house. So it's a good idea for me to expect or set an expectation for cleaning my room 3 days a week to help out with the family on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now the problem with the approach is you're always shrinking back to disempower the imbalance, right? And that can have a negative effect on your healthy relationships and your healthy sense of self-worth. So I do suggest that you have a healthy support system away from the environment where the power dynamic exists. Make plans to change your environment as soon as you can, like getting a new job if you're dealing with a boss or connecting with a different friend or relative if you're dealing with shared housing scenarios. Again, seeking support. Reach out to trusted friends and family members or support groups who can provide perspective, some advice in the same situations, and emotional support during challenging times. Be sure to educate yourself. Learn about power dynamics and how to communicate, and what skills to use to manage those. This knowledge can empower you to navigate the situation more effectively. You always, always, always want to prioritize your self-care. Self-care activities that help you manage stress, maintain emotional well-being, and boost your self-confidence. Again, professional help. If the power imbalance is causing significant distress, consider seeking guidance from a therapist or a counselor who can provide specialized support and coping strategies in these specific scenarios. Practice empowerment for yourself. Focus on activities that help you feel empowered and build your self-esteem. Engage in hobbies, pursuits, or endeavors that allow you to assert your capabilities. Please develop allies. Build connections with people who are supportive and empathetic, helping you feel less isolated and more empowered to address the power dynamics and affirm your reality. Challenge your negative thoughts. Identify and challenge negative self-talk that may arise during the power imbalance. Replace such thoughts with positive affirmations and constructive thinking. Engage in conflict resolution skills. Develop effective communication and conflict resolution skills to express your concerns, negotiate, and find a common ground with the individual. Boundaries for emotional well-being is something that you want to prioritize as well. Your emotional well-being, by setting boundaries, are protected, and your emotional health. It does mean that you may have to limit some interactions, distance yourself from the power imbalance by involving yourself in other activities and having a group that you can depend on. These things may need to be adapted to fit your specific circumstance. So it's important to prioritize your well-being and seek help if you're struggling to cope with an imbalance in power dynamics, okay? Advocating for the change is so important. It's appropriate and it's safe. Working towards rebalancing the power dynamic by advocating for equal treatment and respect is going to be very important. Now, overall, navigating healthy boundaries with an unbalanced power dynamic requires constant effort, understanding, and a commitment to fostering a relationship based on mutual respect and equality. It can be difficult, but definitely don't give up. Make sure that you're putting all your supports in place and that you're reaching out to those things, okay? If you need to put distance, you can do that by engaging in other activities, recreational activities that may support your physical health, activities that may support getting to know yourself more and engaging in self-love, self-care activities more. You may be able to take up a class that helps you understand the difference in other people's personalities and emotional intelligence. So engage in some things that also help you maneuver the situation. And again, about your reality, because oftentimes dealing with an imbalance of power and being stuck in that situation can alter our reality and what we feel is going on around us. So it's very important to have a support circle or group or person that you can reach out to that helps you stay in contact with your reality, okay? Questions, concerns, you definitely know where to find me for more of this. On Sundays, 12 noon CST Central Standard Time, there are the goddess circles that I do with the Unapologetic Empire. Feel free to hop over to www.theunapologeticempire.com. There is a screening required for those meetings, but if it's a good fit for you, I definitely love to see you there and we can delve into this material a little bit more. Have a good one.